Hi everyone. So today we are going to be talking about transportation systems and subsystems. Just a reminder of where we came from. So last week we talked about the engineering design process and criteria and constraints, and we did that little engineering design challenge. This week we are talking about transportation systems and transportation subsystems. And on Friday we are going to take a look at some of those science fair videos. So quick review, go ahead and pause here and see if you can name all of the engineering design process steps in order. Remember, we have 8 of those. Go ahead and pause and try and say them out loud to yourself. All right, hopefully you were able to do that pretty well. Here's a quick review of that. It's define the problem, then research the problem, brainstorm solutions, choose the best solution, create a prototype, test the prototype, communicate, and redesign. All right, and another quick review. Go ahead and pause here and remind yourself of the definitions of criteria and constraints and iterative design. All right, so reminder that criteria are the set of guidelines for a project or the goals of a project, and then the constraints are the limits on a project. And iterative design is about repeating your design process until you get a product that you are satisfied with. All right, so jumping into this week's stuff, we are talking about transportation systems and subsystems. Today we're just going to focus on the subsystems part. At this point, you should start taking notes. Make sure you have your notebook with you or you're doing your online science journal. So there are 6 subsystems in all vehicles. So this is a way for us to generalize how we're talking about vehicles and transportation systems. And we can talk about those 6 parts, even though these like cars and planes are very different, but they have similar subsystems within them. All right, so these are the 6 vocab words for the transportation subsystems. And this is kind of a lot to memorize, so we're going to do some practice with that today. I'm going to jump to the slide with the definitions. Make sure you're writing all of these down. All right, so the structural subsystem is the basic framework of the vehicle. So if you're looking at a bike, it is the frame of the bike. If you're looking at a car, it's that like the metal body of the car. If you're looking at a plane, again, it's the large, the whole body. So that's the basic framework. Propulsion. It's a tough one to say. Propulsion provides a force to move. So on a bike, you use the pedals in order to provide the force to move. So that's the propulsion part of a bike. In a rowboat, it's like the paddles. People use paddles to move rowboats or crew boats. Guidance controls the direction. So in a car, that would be like a steering wheel. So it's whatever is making the thing turn and go in the right direction that you want it to go in. Suspension supports the weight of the vehicle. This can be a bunch of different things. So think about a plane. In a plane, what is supporting the weight of the vehicle? What's helping it stay up? There's a couple of different things there, right? The wings are definitely helping the plane stay in the air. You could also say the jets. That would be partially propulsion, but because it's helping support the weight of the vehicle, you could include that. For cars, you're definitely going to say wheels would be part of the suspension because it's kind of like what is keeping the car up above the road. You could also say shocks, things like that. All right, control is for speed and stopping. So in a car, you would say the brakes are part of the control. Same for a bike. In let's see what else. In a plane, I guess planes also have brakes. So brakes are the typical one for this. Maybe the gas pedal for speed. All right, and then support is anything that helps maintain the vehicle. This one is the one that doesn't always exist in a vehicle, but it's things like headlights in a car, or the maintenance lights that come on when something needs to be fixed in the car. Or you could say like, yeah, the speedometer, all of those kind of things that are not necessary for the movement of the car, but help the user that is using the vehicle. We'll go over some more examples of that. All right, so make sure you have those all down. It might be helpful also to just jot down an example for each of those to help you remember as we go through these. All right, so real quick, which transportation subsystem would the brakes of a car be part of? Think to yourself. So the brakes, as we talked about, would be part of control. Control is for speed and stopping, so brakes are part of control. All right, and let's just go over one example for all of these. Oops, I lost one of my words. There we go. Okay. So I'm actually gonna go out of this so we can move these around. Okay, so this is one of the green line trains. We're gonna label each of the things to the best of our ability. This is a little bit tricky because we can't see everything that's part of this train. The structural part of this train is the whole body, right? The outside part, the basic framework. So I'm gonna put structural kind of on the outside there. Oh, and you can't see it. We're gonna send this to back. All right, so structural is the body of this train. Propulsion, what's making this move? It depends on the train. You know, sometimes you see the green lines that are attached to the wires above, and sometimes we're talking about the third rail underneath them. So I don't see the track above, so let's put propulsion down here at the bottom where the third rail would be. Guidance. This one's tricky in a train, right? In a car, we would say the guidance is the steering wheel. Usually we can tell what's steering. The primary thing that steers a train like this is going to be the tracks, because it has a strong tendency to stay on the tracks. So it's being guided by the tracks. So we can also put this one down at the bottom. Suspension. What's keeping this train up? This is again going to go towards the bottom because we're talking about the wheels here on the train, or whatever it is that keeps them on the tracks. Control, again, this is about speed and stopping. I think in green line trains, I think the conductor who sits up here has some kind of a lever. I think it's hand operated. So we put it there. If anybody knows that for sure, I'd love to hear the answer to that. Where is the acceleration and the brakes in a train? I'm not totally sure. And then support, we could put this in a lot of different places. Support might be, I bet there's some lights that the conductor can see here that we can't see to help them figure out, I don't know, timing or stopping, that kind of stuff. There's headlights here. We could put it there. That's definitely part of the support. We could also put it on this sign because this is helping the users use the train. So I'll put it up there. It's anything that helps users use the vehicle and keep it maintained and stuff like that. Okay, so after this, we're going to do a couple more examples. Those of you at home will be doing this on slides just like what I just did. So just be ready for that. That'll be an assignment during class time. But for now, you're just doing our usual thing. Go ahead back to Google Classroom and complete the form. I'll see you all in class.